This video is going to cover the 10 steps needed to create a natural bike feature. The first step is going to be to scout out the area. So right now I'm on a bike trail that's kind of flowy. As you can see, there's some little berms that kind of go around the corners here. And it starts from up here, and then it goes all the way down there. All right, and I'm going to try to put a bike jump in between this part right here where the shovel is. Luckily, this section of the trail has no trees or anything hazardous around it if the biker were to come off the jump. So I won't have to do step 2, which is clearing potentially hazardous branches or brush or rocks that the biker could hit whenever they do the jump. And it's gonna be right here. All right, step 3 is to visualize the intended route. So pretty much the biker's gonna be coming this direction, and the feature is going to be positioned right around here. Then they'll come out this way. Okay, so what I want is for a ramp to come up right about here. Okay, I'm not sure how big I want it, but somewhere around here, and then it'll come down right here, the landing, and then there'll be a flat section right about here. Okay, so that kind of visualizing that, the biker will be coming down. They'll hit this, they'll jump up in the air, and then they'll land down right outside the frame of you. Step 4 is to collect logs or rocks. I've gone with just a bunch of logs, and I might even need to collect more, but I'm just sticking with this for now. And once I get building, I can collect more if necessary. Pretty much, I haven't put them down onto the trail yet, just to give bikers as much time as possible before I start construction. This is still an active trail. Now that I have the building materials collected, I can move on to step 5, which is planning for drainage. So pretty much water is going to run down this way into the creek over there. And then also water is going to be running down along the side of here. So pretty much I don't want water to be collecting on the inside of this jump. And I can just prevent that by having a slight slope going that way. So I'm not going to have to dig any drainage ditches. As you can see, there's one kind of already there for water to flow down into if there's runoff from this upper part of the hill. But for this section, I should be okay. All right, so for step 6, I've already built the general structure of the jump. Again, bikers are gonna be coming down this way. I'm gonna go over it like this. I've also started kind of clearing out a spot down there to start digging dirt from. And then I can also take out a bit of material in front of the jump and behind it to kind of exaggerate the slope, and then also pack that on. As you can see, I've also added a bit of dirt between the cracks of the logs already, just to kind of help stabilize them, because as of now, they're still pretty wobbly, and when the final jump is finished, you want it to be pretty secure. All right, so I'm a bit of the way through digging and piling dirt on top of the feature. Right now you can see the logs are still sticking out and there's only a very thin layer, but it's now much better packed in place, which is very good, because as I said, we don't want logs kind of shifting around when bikers are doing the jump. I've been kind of digging out this spot to kind of give the feature a bit more of a, I guess, prominence around the trail around it. And then also it kind of makes it much easier to build it, because I don't have to bring as many materials over, as it just kind of sticks out. And then I dig more down into the ground so it sticks out even further. So I have finished up digging all the dirt around it and putting it into place. Right now it's still kind of like a mound, which is, it's kind of hard to discern the kind of feature that it's going to take, but pretty much bikers are going to come through this way and they can come down that way. Again, there's lots of just dirt just kind of piled around randomly. This part of the step, or this part of the process can be pretty messy, but it's just important to get as much dirt as possible on here. And then you can start shaping it, which I'm about to do next. I also added in a little ledge here, so that whenever the bikers come down through this way, they have a choice of coming straight, or they can do a little bit of a tabletop onto that ledge and then drop off, just to add a bit more difficulty if a rider chooses. Now, it's very important that there's 2 separate ways to do this, because if there was only this more difficult route, it wouldn't exactly fit on this trail, because this is more of a beginner trail. So it's important to have an easier way for newer bikers, and then if you're adding a harder part, that should be a kind of separate and out of the way for the more experienced bikers to do. So now the jump has been packed a lot more. You can kind of start to see the edges of the tabletop. So one's right here and the one's right over there. And I also notice all the footprints. Me just kind of channeling my inner tap dancer and trying to pack down the dirt as much as possible. Just from the other angle, I've also been kind of stomping up there just to make sure everything's kind of smooth and in the shape that I want. So right now you should just take a step back, kind of look at the jump, how you're liking it. As you can see, there's one small tabletop right here, and then there's a big tabletop that kind of comes right here. So you see this flat section here, ramp up, ramp down, and then there's a flat section kind of there. The ramp is up here, and then the ramp down is right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna start watering it. Pretty much because there's the creek over there is dried up, I can only use the water that I've brought, which is about a gallon. So I'm gonna do the best I can with this limited amount of water, but I'll show the process. Okay, so this is the first part of step 8, I believe. Pretty much I just poured on about half a gallon of water onto this section of trail. And pretty much I just kind of splatted it about to where I didn't flood anything. Just get the top layer kind of wet. Now I do not want to pack it right now, because if I do step on it or like smack a shovel against it, it'll just pull more dirt out, which is what I do not want. So I'm going to throw more dry dirt onto it, this stuff, so I can kind of start kicking it up, right? And that'll keep it from sticking to my shoe or my shovel or whatever I choose to pack it with. And then I can start packing like that. And that'll just kind of help everything kind of stick together and make sure the edges are really nice to where you can get a good looking jump. I just completed the first pass through of step 9, pretty much packing it through watering it and then kind of throwing dirt onto it. So after 2 more passes through of watering and packing the jump, it's much more sturdy. Even though it looks like there's kind of a film of loose dirt over it, underneath it's like a more like stiff layer of dirt that'll kind of hold under pressure, which is nice. I ran out of water, so I can't do it anymore. I would have liked to do maybe 1 or 2 more passes just to like ensure that it's really solid, but it's working good. I only watered the front part of the jump. Here's the back side, and as you can see, it's much more loose, but that's not a huge problem because the bikers are going to be coming down from this way, and necessarily in jumps, the front part always takes kind of the brunt of the damage. So having the back kind of loose is completely fine. As long as it slopes downwards, has a nice runoff, it's good. I also added in a small little ditch that kind of runs through here. As you can see, this part is kind of indented. So for drainage, if water were to run into here, or if it just rained, there's actually a way for it to escape instead of just pooling, which would be very bad for the jump. Now that the jump's complete, all that's left is just test it by running across it. I'm kind of pretending like you're a bike. So first I ran through the small one and it felt fine. And then I kind of ran through the larger tabletop and it felt fine as well. Sadly, because I'm a broke college student, I don't have a bike to test it with. But that would kind of be the next step in step 10, is to kind of run it through with the bike, and that'll also help to pack the jump better, and then just kind of allow other bikers to see like the intended route to go, because this one is kind of confusing, as there's another kind of ledge on the side of the cliff that the average biker might not be able to see. So that's it. That's how to build a natural bike jump, or a bike feature, should I say. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.